So, who had the best football season in the Big Ten this year in 2024? Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, IU, and Michigan have some things to brag about. It's complicated. We'll sort it out. Locked on Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. And I want to thank you for making us your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hit that free subscribe button as well while you're watching this today. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. So who was the best in the Big Ten this year? I mean, the obvious question would be Ohio State, but they didn't win the Big Ten. Tom Allen is leaving Penn State as a defensive coordinator. Tell you where he's going with more Big Ten news and Tuesday tweets right here. But a lot of great things happened in the college football season in the Big Ten in 2024. It was fantastic. And in a couple of weeks, when we sit back and reflect on the concluded season, while counting down the days to spring practice and spring football, mind you, we had a lot going on here in this season. It was a great season. We'll say it was maybe the best season. We're creatures of the present, though, as we try to figure out who the best is right now. And it would be very easy to say Ohio State. They're going to the national championship game. But let's not confuse what we're talking about here. In the end, Ohio State has the best team, win or lose against Notre Dame Monday night. Greatest roster, best team, all that. I get it. But if the Buckeyes lose this game on Monday night, what banner are they going to hang to commemorate this incredible and huge 2024-2025 season? Like I say, college football national champion, runner-up, or participant? This team won 3 playoff games, but if they don't win a 4th, what are we going to call this team? I know, it's kind of a head-scratcher. This is new territory for us. We can't call them Big Ten champions. They didn't even make it to the Big Ten championship game due to 2 losses to Oregon and Michigan. That also put a little stain on their season. The stain of the Michigan loss will always be there, even if the Buckeyes win the national championship, because believe me, that team up north will remind them every time. All their fan base, they'll remind them all the time. They'll remind them here on this podcast, on our comments as well. So even Buckeye fans, I think, will admit to having to thread the needle on their own psyche when it comes to celebrating a natty in 2024, 2025. Oh, yeah, but Michigan won. That's always going to be there. But I would say, this is just me, I would say you win the national championship, that trumps everything. You're the deal. That's it. But not everybody's wired that way, particularly in Columbus, Ohio, sometimes in Ann Arbor. I'm just saying. So, and again, I would give all the credit in the world to Ohio State if they win the national championship. Even if they don't, their phenomenal stretch here in the postseason has been incredible and a lot of fun to watch. As far as Michigan goes, this year came nowhere close to what 2023 did. Undefeated national championship, Big Ten championship, win over Ohio State. That was a complete season in 2023 for the Michigan Wolverines. But beating Ohio State makes this disappointing year, 2024-2025, makes it tolerable in Ann Arbor. It's kind of like 2024, they got a mulligan on the whole disappointing season. And now everybody's looking forward to parlaying that, moving forward. They got the best recruit in all of America coming in playing quarterback and Bryce Underwood, as the Wolverines will try to beat the Buckeyes for a 5th straight year. And if they do beat the Buckeyes, or when they do play the Buckeyes, and that'll be in Ann Arbor this year, they'll be taking on the defending national champions. It's a big game already. It's 10 months away. I'm already excited about it. So, in fact, that would be possibly, depending on how things go on Monday, a matchup of the last 2 defending national champions. We'll build it up big. We'll talk about it. It'll be great. Now, despite Ohio State's efforts, let's say they don't win the national championship. The only team hanging a banner in the Big Ten this year of any kind is the Oregon Ducks. Despite their postseason disappointment, They're hanging a Big Ten championship banner in their first year in the league. Can never, ever take that away from them. And they did it with an undefeated regular season, which history will look back and remember 2024 is the year that the Ducks took the Big Ten by storm. So again, who had the best season this year? Granted, again, if the Buckeyes win it all, that'll take a lot of oxygen out of the room when we talk about this season in the Big Ten. Now, 2025, that could be a season where we got a lot of prefaces as we describe our teams. It'd always be the defending Big Ten champion Oregon Ducks versus whomever, or the defending national champion Ohio State Buckeyes versus whoever. And there are other successes as well. Here are the playoff semifinalists, Penn State Nittany Lions. We're gonna have a lot of descriptions to all these teams this year. The 11-win Indiana Hoosiers that nobody saw coming. By the way, did you notice Indiana's only 2 losses this year? Ohio State, Notre Dame. 2 teams are playing for the national championship. Just throw that out there, a little sidebar. People will be mentioning it. Might as well start it right here. There are a lot of titles, a lot of ways to describe these teams moving forward. Now, so back to our original question. Who had the best season? 6 weeks ago, nobody would have mentioned the Buckeyes. This was looking like a colossal disappointment. They lost the October game to Oregon. They lost to Michigan. They didn't even get into the Big Ten championship game. It's amazing what 6 weeks will do. Now they're in the national championship, which we all knew was a possibility for sure. Just the quirks of the way the schedules and the way college football works today. So anyway, 6 weeks later, here we go. People kind of tend to forget what happened 6 weeks ago. We're all about the now. We all do it. What's the biggest, best thing going on now? Well, right now, that's the Ohio State Buckeyes. We all suffer from recency biases. And again, Ohio State backing it up with their last 3 performances in the postseason. And perhaps a great performance on Monday night. That will stick with us the most. And at that point, we definitely could declare the Ohio State Buckeyes with the best season of anybody as a national champion. But Michigan will always say, yeah, but we beat that team. And Oregon will always say, yeah, but we won the conference championship. Nevertheless, one thing we can all agree on is the Big Ten is greater than the SEC, right? I mean, that argument's put to bed. We would say that here on this podcast and anywhere, and SEC people will get all flustered. They don't have a leg to stand on now. The Big Ten is the premier conference in college football. Go Big Ten. By the way, I got a programming note for you right here. I know it's coming. It's like almost a week away. Monday's broadcast after the game. We'll have a regular Monday morning Lockdown Big Ten. You'll be able to check that out. I'm sure we'll be talking about the national championship, but we will go live on Lockdown Big Ten right here on our Lockdown Big Ten YouTube channel right after that Monday night game, probably somewhere around 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, 8 o'clock Pacific. So mark your calendars on your phones, make a note. Hey, after this game, after a little bit of the confetti's flying, all that stuff, we're going to go live here on Lockdown Big Ten for my immediate reaction, analysis, opinion, and your immediate opinion as well. We always get to your comments. I love the live, real-time give and take. So that's what we're going to do with that on Monday following the national championship. Hey, who do you think had the best season thus far? If let's say Ohio State doesn't win another game, who are you going to say had the best Big Ten season? Ohio State? Oregon? Throw Penn State in there. By the way, we have Penn State news, both coaching and player news. Well, I'd love to hear from you. Let's get the comments going back and forth. Hit us up with the comments on YouTube. Hey, be sure to subscribe and follow Lockdown Big Ten for free wherever you get your podcast. That way you get the latest episode of Lockdown Big Ten as soon as it becomes available each and every day. And if you don't mind, feel free to share, follow, and like Lockdown Big Ten. That really helps us out. Also, don't forget to check out our website, talkbig10.com. That's the number 10, talkbig10.com. All of our podcasts go there chronologically. We also group them by your favorite schools. And there are also links there if you want to buy some merchandise, shirts, pennants, hats from your favorite team, Big Ten team, all right there on talkbig10.com. All right, I want to get to this. As I mentioned, Penn State's losing its coordinator, Tom Allen. He's leaving. What's going on there? There's something about it that doesn't make sense to me, but a lot of Penn State players are coming back. We got transfer portal news, all that on the way, and then our Tuesday tweets all in a minute right here on Locked On Big Ten. You want to go to a game? Get Game Time. Get the Game Time app. Go to the national championship. Need tickets? Get the Game Time app. Want to look at a Super Bowl? Go into that right there. Game Time. Or a comedy show or concert in your local neighborhood. Go to Game Time and get your tickets through the Game Time app. They got a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. It filters out all the fluff, and you only get incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste your time just flipping through thousands of seats all over the place. You use Game Time for any upcoming game. You can browse through the deals. It's a breeze. And my favorite feature is that you can see views of the seat of the ticket you're about to buy right there on your phone or your device right before you end up buying it. It's right there. So you're like, all right, good view. Plus the on-time ticket delivery and the lowest price guarantee give you a complete peace of mind. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, I want to thank everybody for making Locked On Big Ten your first listen each and every day. We always appreciate you everydayers out there. Meanwhile, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten, your team every day, and check out our website, talkbig10.com. So former Indiana head coach, and until recently Penn State's defensive coordinator, Tom Allen, leaving Happy Valley, and just after one season. I found that to be a little bit unusual. He's going to go to Clemson, and Dabo Swinney has hired him away. Now, Penn State's defense, once again this year, was elite, and the Nittany Lions made it to the semifinals, and if it weren't for a last-second field goal, might be in the national championship game. And, you know, Allen's one and only season in Happy Valley as a defense coordinator, I thought it was pretty good. They gave up some points against Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. And they gave up some points in the second half against Notre Dame in the college football playoff, but they had some dominating performances throughout the entire season and postseason up to that point. I thought they were good. I mean, more NFL talent coming through there. I thought it was pretty good. And now James Franklin, I would think I want to keep him getting this far, but now he's looking for his third defensive coordinator in 4 years. Remember, defensive coordinator Manny Diaz left last year to become the head coach at Duke. I know you want to be a head coach, but Duke over, I don't know, hanging around Penn State one more year. I don't know. Before that, Brent Pry left to become a head coach at Virginia Tech. But overall, things were pretty successful defensively this year. Penn State was a top 7 defense as usual. And this is a less than lateral job, I think, moving to Clemson. So my radar's up and I have a few questions. Why would Penn State not match this offer? Now, Dabo, they'll pay their defensive coordinators a little more. I think Tom Allen was in the 1.5, 1.6 range. That's millions for a defensive coordinator. I think over at Clemson, you could get around $2 million per year, but Penn State didn't want to match it. So I'm kind of wondering. And, you know, Dabo Swinney, he's had some defensive problems down there at Clemson ever since Brent Venables left to coach Oklahoma. Finally let Wes Goodwin go, enter Tom Allen into the picture. Maybe James Franklin wanted him to go. Maybe there was friction to, you know, Tom Allen was a recent former head coach. Now he's defensive coordinator. And I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I thought it was a surprising move, but there it is. Meanwhile, some good news for Penn State. Edge rusher Danny Dennis Sutton says he's coming back. He's 6'5", 266 pounds. Took to social media. Says he's coming back for his senior season at Penn State. That's great news. He talked about the job not being done, unfinished business. He had 13 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks this year, 2 forced fumble and an interception. Of course, playing alongside Abdul Carter, who announced he's leaving, going to the NFL draft, as he should. But speaking of unfinished business, with Sutton, you got the dynamic duo at running back coming back again, Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. These guys would have got drafted. They want to come back. And Drew Aller already announced he's coming back too. So the band's getting back together. Meanwhile, Tom Allen, speaking of him, his former stomping grounds, Indiana, now under Kurt Signetti with the biggest turnaround in college football this year, announced 31 new players for spring semester and spring ball. And that group includes 17 transfers, 14 incoming freshmen. Each of the 17 transfers is from the FBS level. 10 of them are from Power 4 schools. Michigan lands a receiver returner he was at UMass and then Arizona. Anthony Simpson coming in from the transfer portal. In his collegiate career, he's amassed over 1,400 yards, total yards, including 342 return yards for Arizona in 2022. But that's not the big story. You got to keep an eye on somebody else there for Michigan. The player to keep an eye on is 5-star offensive lineman Ty Haywood from Denton, Texas. Long time ago, he gave a verbal commit to Alabama, but then he never signed. And now he is officially decommitted from Alabama. His first visit will be Michigan this weekend. Hey, Michigan fan, what's the weather forecast this weekend up there in Ann Arbor? This is not the best time of year to go visit Ann Arbor. But hopefully he'll like what he sees. He's also considering Texas Tech and Florida State, by the way. And how about PJ Fleck? He's moving fast. You know, we just announced yesterday he was losing his defensive coordinator, Corey Heatherman, to the Miami Hurricanes, who badly needed an upgrade on defense. I think it's a good move for the Canes to get him. Fleck is going to promote from within. He's going to give the defensive coordinator gig to safeties coach Danny Collins. Collins has been with Fleck since his days back at Western Michigan, and he's been on the Gopher staff since 2017. So that's the latest coaching news around the Big Ten. Meanwhile, Tuesday night, we got some college hoops. We got a doubleheader on Peacock tonight, a little streaming. Number 19, Illinois, is at Bloomington to take on Indiana. That's the 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific game on Peacock, followed by Ohio State taking on Wisconsin. That should be a good one. 9 o'clock on Peacock. And then there's Iowa at USC. That's 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific on FS1. And we got a top 25 battle for women's hoops tonight as well. Number 24, Minnesota, is at number 8, Maryland. That's at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific on the Big Ten Network. So more hoops to talk about as well. All right, we continue with your comments. But now, you also know Tuesdays is Tuesday Tweets. Mondays, we do our top 10 Big Ten observations. Tuesdays, Tuesday Tweets. Wednesdays, we do our power rankings. Thursdays, the Big Ten Network classics and live action. And Friday, we make all of our predictions for the weekend. So I've been out there. We're on Twitter. So go check us out on X or Twitter at Talk Big Ten. And then we'll pull some of them. And we've got our tweets. It's all coming up in 1 minute right here on Locked On Big Ten. We'll tell you about Wayfair. My wife and I have spent some good money on Wayfair because they got great stuff. Great stuff. We're after the holiday hustle, and there's nothing like giving your home a little TLC, little special piece of furniture for the corner, something. You find it at Wayfair. Always good-looking stuff. Whether you're tidying up, clearing out, or just want to give your space a new look, Wayfair has everything you need, all within your budget. And I currently just bought something, a little swivel chair myself recently. So they got free and hassle-free delivery, even on larger items. Wayfair's site is so easy to navigate. Even I can do it. And I found everything I needed in no time. So go check it out at Wayfair. And it helps you in a time crunch. If you need something specific, it's very easy to find. And you could give your home that refresh that it needs with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's wayfair.com. Wayfair, Wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style, every home, Wayfair. All right, it is time now for Tuesday Tweets or X at Talk Big Ten. Follow us there. So I'm going to put this on screen and put it on full screen. I'll describe, if you're on audio only, what we got going on here so you can follow along at home. This is from at Ohio State Athletics. It's various collages of Ohio State in their playoff wins. And it says, not done yet. 1 week until the Buckeyes play for a national championship. Meanwhile, here's Brutus the Buckeye waking up first thing in the morning in his bed. The sun's coming through the window. He's all charged. This is from at Melbear26. Good morning. Happy Monday, even though today's Tuesday. Have a great day, everyone. That's right. Ready to go. Ohio. Brutus is charged and ready to go. Here was a tweet from our colleague at Zach Seiko at Locked On Nittany Lions when the story broke. First thing on Monday about Tom Allen going to Clemson. So, again, lateral move, less than lateral move, interesting move. More from Penn State. This is from Abdul Carter himself announcing he is going to the NFL draft. He'll go soon. He'll go early. Very good. Meanwhile, it's getting rough out there for Coach Woody there, Mike Woodson at Indiana. A lot of unhappy people. This is from at Sheriff Woodson on Twitter. So you remember Kurt Signetti in his opening press conference. He says, "I win, Google me." Well, this one has Coach Woodson. It says, "I lose, Google me." Again, people are getting very uptight over there in Bloomington about stuff. Here is Purdue just raining 3-pointers. This is at college basketball on Fox. Says it was raining threes at West Lafayette today. Second most 3-pointers made in a Big Ten game by a team ever. This is against Nebraska. They scored 104 points. In fact, it made yesterday's top 10 Big Ten observations from the weekend. Pretty impressive. Swanky Wolverine was feeling left out with the Buckeyes moving on and Michigan done. And so here's a shout out to all the Michigan football players whose teams are in the NFL playoffs. And it's about a dozen players here and a collage of them in their Michigan uniforms as they are now in the NFL playoffs. All right, Swanky, good job. Meanwhile, here is at college football on Fox. Only 3 teams can say they've beat a college football finalist this year. And Northern Illinois on the left beating Notre Dame. And Ohio State, of course, Oregon, and Michigan. Those are the only 3 teams. As I mentioned earlier, Indiana lost to both of these teams. The only 2 losses, the national championship teams, Notre Dame and Ohio State. Jack Sawyer, hero. This is from at Buckeye Mob. If you would look up the word Buckeye in the dictionary, his picture would come up. This is the guy. This is the guy that said he could, after the Michigan loss, he couldn't even go to a local eatery in Columbus, Ohio without being harassed. Then he gets the strip sack and the scoop and score for 83 yards to seal the game against Texas in the college football playoffs. Now he's a hero. Went from now even more than a hero. He's a legend. Ohio State legend. No doubt. Congratulations to him. Here is a map of America. And it's all in red, garnet, our Ohio State logo all over America. And it's actually from at Trojan Football. Says a map of who America is rooting for in the national championship game. It is the entire country rooting for Ohio State, except for the state of Indiana, where Notre Dame comes from, and the state of Michigan, which by law cannot root for Ohio State. Everybody else is rooting against Notre Dame and for Ohio State, according to this map. Scientific. At college football on Fox, it says what a journey it's been for the Buckeyes. Let's look at the Ohio State Buckeyes football road to the national championship, and it's got scores and graphics of all their games. First round, of course, the beatdown on Tennessee, 42-17. Then in the quarterfinals, they win again. They beat Oregon in the Rose Bowl, 41-21. And in the semifinals, beating the Texas Longhorns, 28-14. All put on a graphic, just so you know. Here is from at college football on Fox. Taking a poll, what state do you live in and who are you cheering for in the national championship? It's got Notre Dame's logo and Ohio State's logo. I've actually heard from some people on the comment section regarding this. For example, I've numerous ones that say, hey, I'm an Indiana Hoosier fan. Who do I root for? You know, Notre Dame's in my state up in South Bend, but I'm a Big Ten guy. Do I root for Ohio State? There's been a lot of that. To each his own. To each his own. This one is a good one. This is from at Steven. It is a picture of the Notre Dame campus with touchdown Jesus. But you Ohio State fans, you all know somebody yells out OH and then somebody else says IO. Where's the O? And then touchdown Jesus making the H IO, Ohio. Yeah, it's a good one. Thought we'd close out with that one ahead of the national championship between Notre Dame and Ohio State. What'd you think? We leave any out? Pretty good there. I liked them. I hope you did too. Go ahead and send me some at Twitter at Talk Big Ten on X. All right, that'll do it. We got more each and every day. Tomorrow we'll have power rankings. It's a Wednesday. I'll look a little bit at basketball, transfer portal for football. And of course, we're a day closer to the national championship. We'll look at some predictions, some other talking heads out there, maybe make some fun of some people, analyze some stuff, all good stuff. So tune in, tell your friends about us. Thanks for joining us here today. Loved having you for another episode of Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman. We'll talk to you next time.